and welcome to the Starlight Network podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Aronson. I'm an actress, creative energy coach, casting associate, and Reiki energy healer. Join me as we discuss the ins and outs of living life as a creative and networking in Hollywood. Enjoy the show. Hi, everybody. I have Renee Garcia here. She is an award-winning casting director, an award-winning writer, and a producer. So she is amazing, and she's actually my mentor. So I'm really excited to introduce everybody to her. So Renee, can you please tell everybody about yourself?
Yes, and you're also my casting associate. Don't forget that one.
That's true.
And you're going to be my director's assistant coming up on set too. So yes,
I'm so
you wear
excited.
you wear multiple hats too, just like I do. So multi-talented we are.
Match made in
So
heaven.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, so as Jamie said, I'm an award-winning casting director. That's mostly how I'm known in Hollywood. I've been doing that since 2006. I started my own casting company. I originally started way before that as an actress. I was in the original Fast and the Furious movie opposite of Vin Diesel, Paul Walker. I was discovered on the street, like you hear that story, and met with all of them, and they liked me a lot, and I automatically got my STAT card and was put on set in the film. So that's kind of where it spawned from ever since I was 8 years old. Um, I had a dream of working in Hollywood. My parents took me to Universal Studios, and I was like, what is this world where it's make believe, but it's not make believe? And I've always been a storyteller. I wrote my first screenplay when I was 15, and then did a book report on it and got an A plus plus plus. And then I got a grant from my school, from all the teachers. So for college, basically, for me being so creative and writing all of that. So and then yeah, so it kind of sparked from there. And then I went behind the scenes because I felt like my talents would be best served there instead of being in front of the camera. As a director, I do cameos in all my films, so the acting still does help. And to be the best director, you should know acting, so that I still use those skills. But yeah, I definitely was like, I love to help people, and I feel like God instilled it in my heart for me to be like a bridge builder into Hollywood. There's so much like hierarchy, and I've discovered a lot of first time talents. My actress in my film Receding that we're nominated for, it was her first film, and she played herself, but it was her first film, and she won at Cannes Festival of Best Debut Actress, and already has won 20 awards so far for Best Leading Actress.
20
So
awards.
yes, 20. I know, it's amazing. And yeah, so I love to discover people. For me, if you have the right personality, because I always tell people like, don't act, use who you are naturally as into the character, and that's how you shine. So yeah, so that's kind of where I've been at. Now I like to discover people. I'm regularly actually on Instagram scouting people, sending them information. I have an event called iPop that I go to twice a year where I discover talent there. Last year I discovered a girl there, and now she's up for the lead actress in my upcoming film called Don't Take My Life Away. So it's really exciting for me that I can scout someone. She has no previous experience either. So it warms my heart that I could help out people in Hollywood, and I want to change Hollywood. I've always had a dream of doing that and making a new Hollywood so that everyone's easily accessible, and that we start discovering the way Hollywood used to be, needs to discover people. And it's not like that anymore, and I would like that to change.
Amazing. So what does that look like having a new Hollywood? Because we all know how it has been in the last few years, and I think that we're due for a change. So what does your vision look like?
Well, basically, I like all the veterans, we all know like the system isn't working. So now with all these streaming networks, such as like Tubi is a great resource for independent filmmakers to get your platform on there. Surprisingly, actually selling DVDs because there's still Redbox, there's still Walmart, there's still people who like to watch stuff or collector's items. So, and then now we have technology coming out, so it's going to make it a lot easier for us in the industry to be able to bring in new talent, and basically discover. So I basically would say within the next 2 years we're going to see like a huge change with all of this, especially after the strike. Even like Mark Ruffalo was like, you know what, I'm tired of this studio stuff. He's like, we all should just go and make our own movies and be indie filmmakers, and that's how Hollywood should be, is about just indie filmmaking. And that's usually the films that make it into the Academy Awards, the Oscars anyways. They're always unknown films because they're usually indie projects. So I think just getting more people on board, especially the star names, because obviously we need their names for distribution and all that, but a lot of them are just like, we just want to make films, we just want to be here. We don't want to go through all these, the strikes and all this hierarchy and plus a lot of these producers, when they make these studio films, they're $350 million and then they make 100 million and that's it. Like they like all of the studios are plummeting, which I think that the strike was kind of on purpose because of that, for them to recoup all the loss. And it's just because their system's not working. It doesn't work. If you make a film like me, an indie filmmaker, for, 1 million or so, and then, you put it out there and then it makes, 30 million, they make a profit. So, that old system's not working, and that's why kind of Hollywood's collapsing. We're all witnessing it. Also, people are not really idolizing celebrities anymore. Everyone likes TikTok and YouTube and seeing real people. And so that's who your audience is. So I think that's why a lot of my films are doing really well, because there's some known people in it, but not 100%. So people can really just dive into the film and just not be like, oh, that's a celebrity playing this part. They literally are watching the film for what it is.
Right,
And
the story, right. They're getting immersed in the
story.
story. Wow, that's a great point.
Yes. So I just think that's going to catch on, as, like I said, the old system's not working. So I've been mentoring a lot of filmmakers to be their own directors, create their own content. I believe the old Hollywood said it's a dog eat dog world and it's competitive, and a lot of people only work with their same circle, and the independent market's different. I'm trying to go out there and spread the news, like, we're not in competition at all. You create your material, I create mine, and then we're all creating it. There's, especially with the streaming systems, there's so much that is available on the platform, so we don't have to do that. So I'm always encouraging people, like, go do your films. What are you working on? I'm rooting for other female directors. Like, I'm so proud of the same film festival I was on. We won Best Lead Actress, and then I was up for Best Director, but another female director won. And I had posted on social media, like, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Like, you got it, Best Female Director. And
Oh,
she's like, and she was like, "Yeah, you got Best Leading Actress. You won too." We're like, "Yay!" And
oh,
she had sent me like a DM. She was like, "That is so nice, like that you like said you're proud of me, and like that I wasn't like competition to you." And I go, "No, we're not competition with each other. Like, I already won Best Female Director 3 times already for that same film. Like, it's your turn." And I said,
wow.
I'm really proud of you, and I'm like, so now we're gonna go have lunch. And I said, no, we need to be like on each other's team and like supporting each other and on each other's side, not jealous and in competition with each other. That doesn't work.
Wow, Renee. It's funny, I know you and we talk about certain things, and then sometimes there's a situation like this that it gives us an opportunity to get to know each other in a different way and for me to ask different questions that I wouldn't normally ask you. And so it's really nice to be able to just hear you speak from the heart and hear things that they don't surprise me about you, but also I don't hear them very often from people. So you're very special, and it's just really beautiful getting to hear you speak about what you're all about. And I think that you really spread so much positivity and love. And I'm just so grateful to have you in my life because I feel like not only do I learn a lot from you, but you're a really good influence. And you help pave this way that shows me that there's a way to pursue my dreams in a way that not everyone even realizes is possible, but that it is possible. And so you're such an inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. In fact, I'd love to share with everybody how I met you, because if people are following my journey, they know that I went 11 years in the industry with essentially no luck and no success. And then all of a sudden in 2023, everything has blossomed, and it's just been this great, amazing journey. And I always tell people, I'm not saying it to brag or to boast. I really want them to know it's possible for them too. So, and I love sharing stories of synchronicity, and this is a huge one. So, as I have you as a guest, I'd love to share that story of how that happened. So, so that everybody knows, I was interested in casting, but as an actress, I didn't know if that would be okay or if it would be like a conflict of interest. And I've been to a lot of networking events lately, and I've had people say, "Oh, you do casting and acting. Have you gotten yourself in yet? Have you like essentially taken advantage and gotten yourself cast in something because you can?" And I say, no, very specifically and consciously separate them, where if it happens, that's awesome, but that's not why I'm doing casting. I love acting and casting separately. If I happen to be right for a part, great. But I'm not going to put myself in there just to take advantage of the system. So, in fact, I was on the opposite side of the spectrum where I was worried that people would think that I'd be doing that and they wouldn't allow me to do casting. So what I love about you, Renee, is you gave me a chance because you like when people are multi-talented and you understand that someone who's good at casting can be good at acting and vice versa. So I met you because we have a mutual friend who is an actress who has auditioned for you, and she's a friend of mine. And I let her know I was interested in casting and that I was starting to get into it. And she said she knew somebody, you, who might want an assistant or an associate. And then we got so lucky with the timing that you happened to do what you just mentioned, where you had to fire somebody because of their attitude and their entitlement. And coming from me, who's somebody who's really grateful, anytime something goes my way, I'm just really, really grateful because I've seen what it's like on the other side when things aren't going my way. So I think we're a match made in heaven because you you needed to work with somebody who appreciates the light that you are and everything you have to offer. And I needed somebody to take a chance on me and essentially show me the way and give me opportunities. And you've absolutely done that. It's been such a blessing. So it's been a really, really great year working with you. Well, I guess it's been like 6 months, but it's been amazing.
It feels like it's been a year with everything we've been going through.
Yes.
Yeah, when she had and she was like, when she sent me the email about it, she was like, I know you're really busy, sorry to bother you. I'm like, I know you, you've auditioned tons of times. Like I'm a open casting director and director. Like you can send me a DM on Instagram, like, hey, I'm an actor, can I submit to you? I'm like, yes, please,
Wow.
I'm not like, leave me alone, like other casting directors, which makes no sense. Our job's a numbers game, So it's like I
Yeah.
don't understand why casting directors are so mean to actors, because it's like for me as a casting director, when my director or producers are like, Renee, everyone's so good, we can't make up our mind. Like, and then I'm like, yeah, like I'm so satisfied that it's so difficult for them because everyone is so talented, like my executive producer on my next film was just like, Renee, I'm so impressed by you. Like I'm so excited for this cast. Like they were so talented. When I told you I need them to sing, right? Martial arts, like stunts, ride a horse, ride a motorcycle. And I'm like, wait, what? And they had to be they had to be over 5'6", a female on top of that, and I'm just like, okay, that's a tough shoe to fill. But surprisingly enough, there are very multi-talented actresses out there who have all those skills. And yeah.
I want to say something about that. So, as an actress who's been helping cast those specific roles, there is this tiny bit of insecurity that creeps in, like, oh, I can't really sing. Not yet, anyway. I'm working on it. But as
Karaoke,
of
karaoke girl, karaoke.
yeah. So as of now, I haven't been able to sing. I haven't done a ton of stunts. I've done some as far as fight choreography, I mean. I don't ride a motorcycle, I don't ride a horse, and I'm not over 5'6". I'm 5'4". So it's really interesting because when I would see the people going out for those roles, there's the human part of me that's like, oh man, these people are better at this than me, and I could never go for that. And so I just want people listening to know that even though I speak about a lot of things about positivity and confidence and self-development, there still is that insecure part that's like, oh, I couldn't do that. However, in the same year that I'm casting that and feeling those ways, I was a lead in a feature that was right for me. So it's just so important for people to stay in their lane and not compare themselves, because that's one movie and it's amazing that people have all these talents. But if you don't, you have your own talents and you can be in the spotlight for what makes you unique.
Yeah, I mean that's the number one thing I tell actors. I actually coach actors as well. And my number one thing is like never compare yourself to anybody else, okay? Don't go on social media and be like, "Oh, they're booking all the time." Like, "Oh, I wish that was me." Never compare yourself because you're everyone's all at different levels. Everyone fits one film in another. Like I have actors that book a part in one of my other films and then they don't even get a call back, for another film. Like some people are just not right for certain parts. You can't be right for everything. Like like I said, you really have to know who you are as a person, and you have to know who you are as talent. Like I as a director, when I get stuff, I'm like I read the script and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to step back and I'm going to produce this one. I know someone else that would be a better director for this. That's like an action director that knows how to work with cars and all that stuff and action stunts. I go, I've never really done that. I've done slight action. Well, this next film now, can say I worked with some of it. So I will be learning again. I didn't go to film school, so I'll be learning on set. So I won't be able to say that anymore. But that's how you do. You know what your boundaries are. Like I can do this, I can't do this. Now I'm going to be doing this film where I have all of that, and now I can say that I can do that, right? So just know. I like what you said. Stay in your lane.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that was from one of my first acting teachers. And now that I think about it, since you raced cars and you were in Fast and Furious, it makes sense that you would like that analogy.
Yes, yes. Yes. I miss driving fast. I wish I could do it. And yeah, so going back to when she sent me the email about you, and then she was like, for me, you even forgot to mention you work in production. So she was like, oh yeah, she wants to, be a casting director, and that's always been my thing. Like I knew I was either going to take off and like producing, which I'm still producing, or directing. Some projects I don't direct, and I step back as a producer. And so when she had said that, and she's also an actress, a lot of my films that I have were on set, and then I'm like, I literally will be like, oh man, like I had to change a storyline. I wrote the script and I was directing this film, and we had to change the storyline because the mom wasn't available to shoot. So I'm like, I don't have her for the day. The scene is the daughter going to the park. What am I going to do? And I'm like, okay, I know. I'll have her nanny, right? Or a babysitter take her, right? Mom's got to work. So I had to throw in that line, since you can't make it to the shoot the next day we were shooting at the park, just simply add in the line. Uh, I have to work. Miss Sanchez is going to take you, like the nanny, the babysitter is going to take you. And then I end up doing the cameo myself to walk in. But normally on set, like if you were on set with me or someone I know, I'd be like, hey, can you just jump in for that role real quick? And it's like a couple of lines, and I know you're an actor, so you're like, okay, yeah. I'm like, great. I'll be give you, we'll get you I'll get you playing a role. So I've done that a lot with a lot of people that have like worked with me that I know that are actors. I'm like, hey, can you play this part really quick, or I'll jump in, because the script's always changing. There is no final final script. It's always changing depending on things that happen. People get sick, people whatever, schedules, X, Y, and Z. So for me, I was like, I want someone that's on my team that can work with me in casting. Then when I go to set, I want them there on set with me. And then if I need you to be an actor, I know, hey, go play this part real quick. So that's kind of like we are a match made in heaven, because that's exactly what I was looking for when I was like, wait, she does production and she's an actress. And I was like, ooh, yes, this is exactly what I want.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yes, yes, and especially like again, serendipitous, right? I was just like, and I just literally like literally that week, I was like, now I don't have, I was, well, just ignored her and that don't want to work with her anymore. And she knows that I ignore people and I don't want to talk to them
Oh.
anymore. And I'm done with them. They don't exist in my universe anymore. And so I was just like, what am I going to do? Everything is getting really busy with my directing career. I'm like, I need help, right, Jamie? I need help. And And so I was just like, wow, I took that as a sign. I was like, this sign, like she's the one, And then when you and I just went on Zoom together, I just felt like, we're like one of the same synergy, like just I loved your energy and just I can just tell like, and you're like, hey, I'm booked on this casting thing and I'm booked as an actress. And I'm like, you go, girl. And then you were living in Connecticut at the time, and I was like, oh yeah, everything's just on Zoom, it's going to be slow between, it's always slow in our industry and things kind of shut down between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and everything. And then I just thought it was so amazing because I'm a risk taker and I just go for it. That you were such a risk taker and you went for it because you followed your heart and your intuition and you moved to California. And I'm like, what? You're like, oh no, I'm moving. It's a done deal. I'm like, wait, I didn't tell you to move down here. What? And you just you did it on your own, with your own tuition, your own heart. Like, no, I'm gonna do this. I have to physically be in Hollywood. And then I was like, remember the synchronicity of you getting signed with SoCal Talent? I was like, wait a minute. Then you got an agent. Their name is SoCal Talent. Like, it was just like so meant to be. You're here in California. Now you and I are like rocking it. I love that you're in person now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that she came up with this idea, because now you and I have been like rocking all these networking events and making great contacts, and just, you're coming with me you're going to see for the first time where I go twice a year to scout talent, and I'm looking forward to seeing you seeing these fresh talents and your eyes opening up to like the world of casting, how we discover people. So I just was like, okay, this is like so meant to be. Too many synchronicities, too many serendipitous moments, that and yeah, it was just from there. It was just like, it's almost like we're paving the way together, because now we're going to be doing networking events and bringing people together so they can network and, so all, us, we're basically like creating, the bridge builders to creating like a new Hollywood, where everyone's like, wow, Renee, you're so nice. You're not like the other casting directors I meet are mean, and you're like our cheerleader. I just won a casting director award in 2020 and I was nominated by the actors and they were like, yeah, we nominated Renee because like she's like our cheerleader and like ultimately I didn't get the part, but I learned so much from her. And after auditioning with her, I went on to like get a lead part from using that information in the audition room that she told me and using it for another project. And then I booked the lead part in the project, so people that come with me, it's a learning experience. I'm very generous with my time and directing, and actors always learn something they've never learned before. They're like, wow, that was great. Like, wow, I didn't even know like it could be like this. And and actors with me, even when I'm a director, it's always a collaboration. We're a team, it's a collaboration. We're making this storytelling art together, and it's not just me, like my whole
Yeah.
cast and crew are like, congratulations, Renee, on the awards. I go, what? Congratulations to me, congratulations to us, all of this.
Us.
Like
Hmm.
this is a team effort, the teamwork makes the dream work, right? I'm like, no, we're a team. Congratulations to you too, I'm just the representative, right, to collect the awards or to speak on behalf of the production. I'm just the representative, I'm like, this is all a team effort. Like, congratulations, So I think a lot of people are just kind of not used to that, in the industry where, everything's a team effort for me. Of course,
Yeah, totally.
I'm still, of course, the team captain.
Yeah. Well, every team needs a leader.
Just doing my mission. I really feel like I was, put on this planet at this exact time and moment, like to see, to be a way shower, to be a bridge builder, to be a trailblazer. I'm a a Mexican female, that never graduated college and never went to film school. This shouldn't be happening, but it is. And I
Wow.
take that with great responsibility.
Oh, wow. Oh, even just you saying that, it just fills me with so much love and what else? Yeah, love, inspiration, light. Yeah, you really are a light worker. It's really amazing. And you're very self-aware. I mean, that's such a good point of what you're saying. And instead of thinking of yourself as a minority who's just going through rough times, things are hard. Yes, of course they're hard. And that's not how you spin it. You spin it as if, wow, what an opportunity I have and what a
Yeah.
responsibility I have.
Yes, yes, 100%.
Oh,
And
amazing.
this wasn't an easy path. This was very difficult. And I had to follow the signs, the synchronicities of everything. My whole thing is about like following your heart, which is like following your intuition, which is like following your gut. It's always 100% correct. And so yeah, so all the times I wanted to quit, I was like, I can't do this anymore, God. Like, I know you instilled this in my heart. Like, I know, I'm supposed to be this bridge builder for you, but I can't do this. This is too hard. And then I would like make God, I would tell God, all right, fine. You want me to do this? I don't want to do this anymore. It's too hard. You better show me a sign. And then I'm going to know that that you're telling me, no, you're doing this. And so one of my films that I was the casting director on, it was nominated for best film and best actress, best director. So anyway, so I went to the award ceremony. I'm like, okay, God, my sign's gonna be that we won an award, and then I'm gonna know that this is what I'm supposed to do because I came from being an actress to a talent scout, talent manager, and now casting director, right? And then now director, but this was before in the past. So then we didn't win any of the awards. So I literally just walked away from this because I was bummed, It's like I walked away from the awards. I left and went to my hotel room and I really sat in my room by myself and I was like started to feel like that's it. Like that didn't happen. I'm gonna quit. And then that moment it felt like a death to me. Like such a loss that if I were to quit that it would be like a great loss to me, almost like a death. Like this is like what I felt like I was supposed to do, like from all the signs from God. And then I was like, okay, I brought like champagne and I was like really sad. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going to celebrate with the champagne. Then my phone goes off and it's a text message, a producer going, where did you go, Renee? We were looking for you. And I go, well, what do you mean you were looking for me? I left. We didn't win anything. She goes, no, we didn't win those awards. We won the overall grand best prize of the whole entire film festival, and they wanted to surprise us. We were up at the podium calling your name because we wanted you to talk, but you left.
Oh my
And I was
God.
and then I was like, "What? We what?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "We have the trophy. We're all going to meet up here in Hollywood afterwards. So come meet with us, and then you can take pictures with the awards. But we're kind of bummed you weren't there." And I was like, "Okay, I'll meet you guys there." And for me, I was really happy it happened that way. I didn't care about
Oh,
going up in front of the podium and doing a speech or whatever. I always say I'm not an actor anymore. So
oh
me in
yeah.
front of the camera is not a big deal for me, it had to happen this way because I literally was so sad that I was like, no, that I was literally like, no, I don't want to quit. But like, I'm a person of my word, right? Like, God's the person of his word. And like, literally, I'm so glad it happened that way because I went from just feeling like completely sad to like all of a sudden just so happy and so excited. I'm like, yay, God, we're gonna do this. You show me the sign. I went, jumped on my bed, my hotel room bed up and down like a little kid, so excited and so happy. And so like, yeah, God's shown me signs like that. Every time I want to quit, like God always does it for me. And I always challenge God, like, no, I need to see a sign. I need to know. And so I moved to the Hollywood Hills into this new place. And then I didn't even know I was a roommate there. And I didn't even know I walked out and I was like, wow, looking over like Hollywood and Vine. And then I was like talking to God. I go, okay, God, I need another sign. And then all of a sudden, my casting assistant was there and she goes, oh, did you know that this goes around and you could see? She goes, come here. And I turn around and it's the Hollywood sign, like the literally Hollywood sign. The house overlooks the Hollywood sign. I'm like, you can't get any bigger than that Hollywood sign getting slapped into your face.
Oh my God. Yeah. Give me a sign. How about the Hollywood sign, you filmmaker?
Yeah, and I didn't even know. I was like living there for 2 days, and she was like, "Oh yeah," and I walked over, and I was like, "Oh, you're funny, God. You can't get any
Yeah.
bigger than that." So yeah, so that's kind of like been the same thing, even with me becoming a director. I fell into being a director because I was a casting director for a feature film, and at the callbacks, all the actors are saying Renee should be a director. She's like the way she like as a casting director, she's not like a casting agent says next. She actually really directs and works with the actors to get them at the level. Like when you
Yeah.
audition for me, we may do 4 takes. The first take is however you interpret it, no wrong answers, I say, and then the rest is me guiding the actor into being that character because I've read the script. I know all the nuances. I know, everything that they need to get to that level. So yeah, so it's kind of been like that. And then the last minute they had booked everything, the shoot, all the actors was planned out, and then the producers called me and said the director backed out. And I'm
Oh.
like, what do you mean the director backed out? He's like, they just backed out. And I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? He's like, oh, we already have a plan. I go, okay, what's your plan? He's like, you're gonna direct it. And I'm like, I'm gonna direct it. He goes, yeah, you're gonna direct it. We already know all the actors all said you're gonna be a director, and we want to be the ones that are responsible for discovering you as a director. And when I went on set, I'm telling you, like directing was the most natural thing I've ever done in my life because I have the eyes as an actor. I've been a first AD, I've been a second AD, like produced, like I know like all around, what it's supposed to be. And when everyone watches my video, they're like, that was your first you ever directed. Everyone's like, we couldn't even tell. And they call me the queen bee on set.
Oh.
So yeah, so from there it's just like I call set my sanctuary from there. I'm like, this is what I'm meant to do. Like I'm always, I was telling you, Jamie, like I'm always gonna be a casting director. I'm never gonna let go of my casting company, and hopefully train you to become a casting director. And because I'm gonna be going to set. I directed 5 films last year or this year, I mean, this year.
Oh
And
yeah, we're
then
at
this
the end
year,
of
yeah,
2023,
no,
so
2023. And then next year, out the gate, I have 2 features I'm directing, then we have another project, and then I have another feature. So, and then I have other projects that I'm being pitched for right now. So I'm pretty much going to be directing a lot next year too, and casting as well. So yeah, so it's been really amazing, and just me following my heart and just people seeing who I am as a person and just believing in me. And it's been a wonderful roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I got emotional during some of those stories there. It's your life has been pretty magical, it sounds like, and it you've been following the signs. You've had faith and you wow. You just really tune in and listen and you you have I don't even know how to word it, just you have faith and you follow the signs and it seems to be working out. So
Yes, yes.
it's really cool. But yeah, so I got kind of emotional during that because it's so beautiful and so magical. So thank you for sharing that. And if I felt that, I'm sure other people listening to this will be inspired by what you've gone through and how it's happened because it's just happened in a really special way. So one of the questions I was going to ask you is about synchronicity and if you've ever had moments of synchronicity that have changed your life. So that already covers it, but obviously if you want to share anything else, go ahead.
No, I mean that's pretty much my secret. I mean, I don't know. Every time you and I are around, I'm like synchronicity, Jamie, synchronicity. And it's like it's so
Yeah.
awesome, about all of that. So I'm able
Yeah.
to say it's not weird.
Right.
And I
Yeah, I
and then
experience it every day, and people around me are like,
yeah,
I experience more synchronicity when I'm around you than any other time. So, knowing what I know about you and then myself, it makes sense that we have so much synchronicity. Yeah, every time we see each other, it's just incredible.
yes, and I think that's the number one thing. I think everyone needs to like wake up. A lot of people are so involved. Yes, I use social media and stuff like that. It's great. But we get like really like narcissistic with our social media and all about that and running around, oh me. And I think if people kind of put the phone down and kind of step back and visually really watched how their world was, they would start seeing the synchronicities themselves and realize what the intuition is. What does that feel like when you get an intuition or a gut feeling or there's times that I've actually ignored. I was like, something bad's gonna happen today. I could feel it. And it's not that I was manifesting or anything. It was literally my gut telling me, my intuition telling me, and I didn't listen to it. And guess what? That bad thing happened to me. And I was like, you knew this was going to happen to you. Why didn't you listen to it? Why didn't you do it? Now, now you got, now you're, you knew this was going to happen. And yet we
Mm,
still go through it. And so we have to really, really like knowing your intuition is knowing yourself. And you have to know yourself in order to heal from things, order to use your abilities. We all have the ability to be intuitive by following our heart and our gut. So I think if people spent more time on like healing themselves instead of thinking they need all this attention and popularity and likes, for the dopamine hits, I call it, you
right?
know, it's, it's figuring out who they are and following those signs, like even numbers, like I see the number 144 every day. 144 is basically like a very like strong number for God. That means like God's chosen people. And I see
Mm,
it like every day. So when I'm in the process of like something, I'm doing something and then boom, 144. Now I see it so much. I see it every day so much now I laugh. I go, oh, 144. That means I'm doing the right thing. Okay, I'm doing my mission. That's the sign. So
yeah.
literally like signs are everywhere and very important and that will help guide you.
Love that.
And that's so amazing. You said I'm a light worker. If you go on my YouTube channel, it says a bridge builder for God, and then it says that I'm also a light worker. So
Oh,
someone told me that I was.
hmm,
Mhm.
yeah, you
And,
definitely
and
are.
and somebody told me I'm an empath too.
Yes.
I'm like, I know I am because every time I watch a movie, I start crying. They're like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "Cause this is sad." Like, they're like, "It's just a movie." I'm like, "No, it's not. This is probably somebody's real life. Somewhere this
Oh.
has happened." So I'm like, I feel bad for those people.
So I was curious what practices you have for when your energy is off.
When my energy is off, it was last night. I
Oh,
was I was really upset. I got catfished and stood up for a date
oh,
from online dating. And I knew they were faking because I said, "Oh, I'll give you a second chance. I'm a big forgiver, so I'll forgive you. I want you to handwrite a note and say, 'Hi, Renee. My name is.'" I'm not gonna say his name, even though it's fake anyways, probably. And I said, "I want you to hold the sign up and do a selfie and say that." And then all of a sudden, he just went mute. So I know he was like he was faking it, catfish. It was somebody else and pretending to be somebody, so I'd go on a date with him.
wow.
So I had sent that message and he didn't respond back. And then I sent a message like, okay. And then last night, it was like just stewing in me. I was getting so, like, my heart was getting angry because it burns, right? We know that feeling, that burning
Mm,
feeling makes you, I know how to control my emotions. That's why you really see me yell or get upset because I know how to control my emotions. I know when I feel that burning feeling in your heart, which is anger or hate, and I was about to send him this and message that's basically bleep 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 bleep, right? Yeah, that's how angry I was. And
uh-huh.
I go, my heart was burning, and I was like, I want to say all this, and then I was like, stop, Renee, stop. What are you going to do with that negative energy? What is that going to do? Nothing. That's not even who you are anymore. You know this happens. It's like the 15th time I've been catfished, you
Oh
know?
no.
Oh yeah, online dating is horrible. So many fake people. Even on Instagram, I get DMs from guys, and they're like, "Hey, oh look at you," and I tell them the same thing. I want you to say my name, hi Renee, such and such, and hold the sign and do a selfie, and send to me, and then I'll keep talking to you. And they never do because they're all fake.
Wow.
I've had guys ask me for money. They think I'm rich because of my job. But anyways, so like I'm just using that as an example because it's like I wanted to be so angry. I wanted to do that, but I'm like healed from all of that. I don't need to do that. What would that solve? Nothing. So I literally had to like tell my heart, no, no, it's not going to solve anything. Don't do it, Renee. It's not going to make you feel good. So you have to let it go. I'm like, let it go, Renee, let it go. It's okay. This happens to you all the time. Like, you should be desensitized by this. Not even a big deal. Who cares? You're going to yell at some person that's a liar and fake. Like, that's the world that we live in. Everyone's deceitful and this and that. You take it as it is. I I was the smart one to say, hey, write this note. And now, now I don't have to worry. He's not going to bother me anymore. So
Mm,
for a good practice for everyone, when you're angry and you want to be upset, you have to control it. Like it's so easy to just blow up at someone and snap at somebody, and you can't. Like even for me, I've had to like make my closet with no closet door and do color coordinating because I would get angry that I couldn't find what I wanted to wear, start throwing stuff and getting all mad. Then I'm taking that negative energy out to the world, and that's how people make road rage, right?
mm.
And even I had a guy have do road rage. He cut me off, and then he started like cussing me and flipping me out. And then we're on the road together, and I roll down my window, and he's like bleep 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 bleep, and I go, I'm so sorry. I go, wow, you must be having such a bad day for you to be this angry over this. I go, you know what? I'm gonna pray for you, okay? And he didn't even know what to do because misery loves company. He expected me to yell back because that's what we do as human beings, right? But because I corrected myself and I said that, literally it looked like his head was gonna pop. He was like, he didn't even know what to say because he was. Everyone expects, that's the word, kill people with kindness, right? So he's not used to that. So that's kind of been like my practice that I do. Like if I can correct myself, if I can control myself, then I can help others. Same thing when I'm directing on set. I say the same, monkey see, monkey do. If I'm happy and I'm chipper, hey, good morning. Hey, everyone, we're making a movie. Yay, our dreams, right? And I'm positive, I'm happy, then that's going to rub off on people, right? Then they're going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to go around and be nice too. And, that's how I keep the synergy going with everyone else. If I come all cranky and moody and mad, well, then they're just going to feed off of that energy and think they can act like that too. So
Yeah.
it all starts with ourselves, when it comes to controlling emotions, which is our heart. Our heart's very important, and that's why the world is the way it is because people just want to just run their world by their emotions, and we can't live like that. We end up attacking each other. So it's like called like almost like self-control would be probably a good word.
Yeah. And I bet you agree that emotions are still important. It's not like we just pretend we don't have them because since we're in the film industry and we're specifically in the aspect, not the technical aspect with camera per se, but with the human aspect, with acting, with casting, directing. So emotions are very important, and as empaths, we definitely feel each other's emotions. But would you agree that it's important to, I'm not sure how to word the question, but I'd love for us
I
to,
get,
you
yeah,
get what
I
I'm
get what
saying?
you're saying. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, as actors, you have to have every emotion in the world. Like, you have to be able to cry, you have to be angry, you have to be all that. So I'm not telling you to get rid of those emotions or feelings. They just need to be used responsibly and when needed. Like when I come on set and I've got, some crew or talent and they're being a jerkosaurus, I call it.
Yeah.
And I have to put them in their place and I have to be stern and I have to come in and I'm like, you know, I have to put my foot down. I have to be assertive. I have to be close to almost being angry, to them because it's not going to go through. It's like not compute. And then people always know that with me. They're like, oh, Renee's angry. It must be really bad. She's mad. So yeah, I mean, I do get, I do have to be stern and stuff like that. But there's like a way to do it. Like not screaming and yelling at each other. There's just like a certain kind of etiquette. But I do have to be stern sometimes because I've dealt with some crew members who at first didn't like, oh, female, I'm not going to listen to her. That's less than what it was before. But I had to step in and be stern. And he was like, "Oh gosh," like, and I go, "What?" I go, "You're the one that said I needed to be more stern. Now I'm doing it, and you don't like it. And I'm like, "I have
Mm.
not." I'm like, "You're causing my set to go over, and that's money." And then one sound guy forgot his sound equipment and showed up, and I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you show up to set without your equipment? Like, what were you partying last night? Like, you're the sound person. Why didn't you have it ready to go at the front door? I'm like, he goes, well, I have to go back to get my equipment. I go, you can go back to get your equipment, but don't come back here because now you just cost the production money because now we need to rent the location longer. I'm like, I already have somebody on standby that's got your part. I'm sorry, I have to fire you. And I was like, this is ridiculous, what you did. And I'm like, I'm not even going to keep you on my roster anymore. Like, this is really bad what you did.
Yeah, really
So,
unprofessional. Yeah, so sometimes
very
you have to,
unprofessional.
yeah, so that's, I guess, how you don't get walked all over because you have it in you. You
Yeah.
just know how to regulate your emotions so that way they don't take over you, but you still feel them. You're not what they call spiritually bypassing, where you're making it seem as if everything's totally fine when it's not.
No, I work on set and that no set's perfect. So I've had to fire makeup people. So yeah, I mean there's chaos with it, but again, what you just said, it's, how do you handle your emotions, Are you just yelling at someone because of your own thing, because something you did and you're taking it out on other people, or is it you need to be stern, like what you said, so people don't walk all over me. As you know, I'm like, you came into my life and a part of um, my production company and casting company, because I had just fired someone for having, attitude and stuff like that and yelling and screaming at me. And so I'm like, bye. you know.
Exactly. Yeah, so that was something actually we were going to talk about a couple things to tell actors that were like debunking some myths. So, real quick, I'll just mention one that we've talked about is if there's a posting that people need to submit by, like they'll have a date that you need to submit by. And my understanding is that if it's a commercial or music video, that the actors would need to submit right away, like not only that day, but as soon as possible. Whereas for, let's say, a feature film, they have a little bit more time. So even if it says the submission is due by, let's say, tomorrow, if you send it in next week, it might be okay because they're not going to stop until they find the right match.
Well, the best thing they do, and even when I send out audition notices to actors, I tell them like, okay, self tapes are due by this time, such and such by 8 p.m. And then I'm like, but if you need an extension, please reach out and let me know, because sometimes, look at us, how many times, okay, the strike happened, so now I got more longer time. So with features, yeah, even television's super fast, TV's fast. So you can, if there is a submission email link, I don't, it depends how you can reach out to them or your agent if you have one. But you can ask them. There's nothing wrong with hey, I know it says done by this date. I was, working on other production. I don't want to miss out on this opportunity. Uh, may I submit past the date? And then if you don't hear from them, then and there's no way to communicate with them, then why not? Just send it to them somehow. And you never know, because especially with that, maybe you weren't right for that, and they're gearing up to they're going to be done with that project, right? Now they're gearing up for their next project they're casting. Maybe you fit that part. I've had actors that gave me late submissions, and I'm like, well, they didn't make it, but hey, they fit this other role. I'll have them come read for that instead. So it's just being able to get your material out to the casting directors so they know who you are.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so just to reiterate that if somebody doesn't get one part just because they know the casting director, that's a good thing. So it doesn't matter that they didn't get that part because the casting director knows who they are and will want to bring them on other projects. So just getting an audition is a win, getting a callback is an even bigger win. And so each step in the process is a win. So just because you didn't get the part, it's like just put that out of your head on to the next.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
don't tear yourself down because you didn't get it, because it's completely out of your control why you didn't get the part. If you're not getting callbacks, you're not getting auditions, then that's on your part. Maybe your headshots are wrong, maybe your resume is not right, maybe you don't have a demo reel. So at you as an actor, you need to have all your materials together. And if again, they can contact me and DM me. I have all the resources to all of that.
Right, right. And then there's one more thing I was going to ask about. It was, oh, so some people have an opportunity to self-tape, but well, a lot of people have an opportunity to self-tape, and then some people have an opportunity to do the live Zoom audition. And so that's something that you offer. And
Or
one
or
thing
or
I'm
in person, or in person too.
right now we're
Yeah,
getting back into that.
yeah. So you'll still be allowed to have it in person as well, or do a self tape. Yes.
And so a lot of people prefer the self-tape because they think they have more control or they're nervous. But can you speak about the benefits of why they might actually want to consider having something more live where they're actually interacting with the casting director?
Yeah. Only do self tapes because you're busy on another production and you can't get to the appointment with the casting director, and that's your only option. So it's only if that's because you can't. But always get in front of the casting director. As a casting director, I love people's personalities. I'm a people person. So if you come into the room, I get to see you in person, not 2D and 3D, and see your personality. And because, like, if you're a lead actor, you carry this essence with you. When you walk in that room, like, oh, yep, they're a lead actor, you know. And I know it from their body language, their confidence, you know. And you can't see that on a self tape. And most of the time in self tapes, you don't know the script, you don't know the character. I just had an actor submit a self tape to me. And he goes, I'm going to do self tape. And I'm like, okay, but why don't you just do the Zoom audition with me? He's like, no, I'm going to do the self tape. So he did the self tape and I sent him a message back. I'm like, okay, we're going to need to schedule a Zoom audition with me because I didn't, it was a comedy film and I didn't laugh once. I'm like, I like your look. I like where you're going, but you missed every beat. You missed everything. I go, you need to be directed. So, and the only way you can get a job as an actor is if you're directable. If you're not directable, then you can't be an actor, and the casting director really can't gauge that. So normally when I have an actor self-tape and they send it in, they get a call back. They usually bomb the call back because they didn't get the direction beforehand and they kind of were way off when, and then plus like I already know that actor because they auditioned for me and I already know what they're capable of. So then I end up being their cheerleader in the callback because I know them. I don't really know the self-tape actor. You know, I didn't get to build that rapport and that relationship with them, you know. So it's always take for in person, always take to talk to the casting director because it's really hard to even get to be able to talk to a casting director in general. So I always recommend that and show them you can take direction. You know, for me, I give like 3 or 4 takes. I'm like, okay, you're right there. You're missing this. This time I want this, and this, and then come in and you know, whatever it may be. And then they make the adjustments and I'd say, okay, take it, let me know when you're ready. I'll call action. I'll give you a few minutes to digest everything that I just said. And then they'll do the take again. And I'm like, okay, that was great, but I want to make a perfect, you know, perfect take all the way through. I just need you to fix this and this, and then bring your eye line to me so you connect with me and the camera more. Because if we're shooting a film, it would be a close-up shot of you, right? Looking into the camera for that shot. So yeah, it's just you get directed more, you know, then you know that you did a good job. You sent it a self-tape, you didn't hear from them. But at least if you came in to read with me, then you know, okay, now I got the character right. I was way off. I always hear that all the time. I was way off what I thought the role was. You know, so you just get more information. You're able to show yourself shine, you know, and show
Yeah.
who you really are. Because we know when we hire you as an actor onto our production that you are a face of our production, right? You're gonna be doing interviews and you know, help marketing the project and stuff. So it's not just about I'm a good actor. It's like, who is this person? We're our own brand, right? As an actor, you're your own
Mm.
brand, you know. So it's like you want to sell your brand and sell that you're also a great actor, you know, and that you're going to be easy to work on set. I've written on back of headshots like seems difficult to work with, and then we don't want you on set. Set is already stressful as it is. I don't need your attitude coming in, you know. So I've had actors based on having a poor attitude, not being part of the production. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, a lot of new actors aren't sure if they should be an extra or not because they've heard some bad things about it. So to clarify, there's a lot of actors that if they are an extra, they don't really want to show their face. So I think it's because if they are recognizable, then they cannot be a character. Let's say if it's a show, they were an extra on one episode and now they can't be a character for the rest of the show. Is that true?
Uh, I mean, you should always be changing you know, you should always be changing your resume. But if you have no credits, then you can't even get onto a TV show. And if you're going to be on a TV show, then you have to be union. You cannot be on any major television show or major movie unless you're union. So they wouldn't even go that route. So I would say go be an extra because you need to get your vouchers to be a SAG actor, right? So go to collect that's the only way. You're not going to get a lead part or even a co-star in a TV show with no credits and being non-union. So I recommend that if you need to get your SAG card, make sure though when you get your vouchers that you also keep your paycheck stub. Some people just have the vouchers, they go try to join SAG and they don't have their paycheck. The paycheck voucher is to show proof because in Hollywood, there was a lot of producers just handing out vouchers and the actors weren't really doing the work. So they need proof of it. Also, sometimes the second AD doesn't file the paperwork for the voucher, so then it's not counted. But if you have your voucher and your paycheck stub, it's proof that you worked on that production. So I recommend it for that. And then also, if you're going to be an extra, I always tell people don't put background extra. Give yourself a credit as a name. So what were you doing? Were you in the church? Were you this? Were you that? Like I always say on your credit, just say whatever the production is. And then I always say, well, what were you doing? Oh, well, I was standing next to the lead actor. I was a family member. I'm like, okay. So then you can just, give yourself the title of that
Interesting. So is that for the resume or the
for the
IMDb?
resume, for the resume and IMDb. Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right.
And
Thank
then
you
and
so
then it does
much.
and yeah, and it does look good if you I know, oh, I can't ever be on that TV show, but to be honest with you, it looks really good when you have those big credits and it says, I don't know, Sylvia or whatever, or um best friend or whatever. Um, at least it shows really good credits, versus not having anything at all. So it just depends where you're at in your career. If you're like you're booking a lot as a lead like you are, I wouldn't recommend, being a background extra. It just depends where you're at in your career.
Yeah, for instance, I was an extra on something and then they were thinking of having me come for another day on set and they realized that they couldn't because I was featured as an extra and I was very recognizable and so they couldn't have me come on for another day. So I think it is probably better for when someone's earlier in their career.
Yeah, because where are you
And
going to get your start at, Like that's the only way you can get your start.
yeah, and it's good to have the experience on set. So if somebody does extra work, they should not put that on their resume though, right? Like they should not say that they were an extra or that they were background on something on their resume.
It really, honestly, it just really depends because if you're a new actor and you don't have any credits, or if you're still an intermediate actor but you don't have those big studio credits, then sometimes you just have to take the bite and chew it and put it on your resume. It just really depends. Your resume should probably always be changing depending upon where your career is at, So that would just really another again, where are you at in your career? Newbie, yeah. Intermediate, no, and obviously not pro.
Okay. Got it. I have a feeling that this is one that people will go back to listen to. So even as I have lots and lots of episodes, I feel like this is one people are going to be like, oh, a casting director, and oh, Jamie's mentor, the one that she's the casting associate for. So I was really excited to do this one, and I'm really proud of it. Like now that we've done it, I see like, okay, great. At first I'm like a little bit nervous because there's a little bit of pressure because I had that in mind that people are going to be watching this probably for years to come. Especially if I make it big, could you imagine? If people want to come back to see our like original interview thing. Like, so I really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to really enjoy editing this together. And I think that I'm going to wait to post it for when I have my intro because it's one that people will go back to watch. And so, wait, do you know Silva? No, yes, no, Noah's wife. Silva's the blonde hair. They were sponsoring Downtown Los Angeles Film Festival.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember them? So she's Australian. So she's become a good friend of mine. And I hired her to make, because she's a composer. So she made the music that's going to be the intro to my podcast.
Oh, awesome. Fun, fun.
So,
Well, so just to let you know, I actually was on a Spotify podcast called Hollywood Helpline, and they had like John, I forget his name, John Papsadera. He's the casting director for Inception, Dark Knight. So he's a huge casting director. And they had other big casting directors that were on the episodes. And the craziest thing is my episode was the most watched, the most viewed, and then even actors had contacted me and said, we listened to your podcast on the Spotify helpline, and they were like, you inspired us so much. And we went on Google and found your information, and we just wanted to thank you so much for inspiring. I was like on the verge of like quitting, and you changed my life, and I just wanted to reach out to you personally to say thank you. And then even the Hollywood helpline, I had contacted them and told them, and they said, oh yeah, Renee. I go, I beat out John Papsadera. She goes, yes, Renee. She goes, yours was the number one watch because everyone was just so inspired by you. And we got so many people emailing us saying, thank you for putting Renee on. So
oh,
yeah, I cried. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I can't believe it. She's like, yeah, yeah. And she's
wow.
like, yeah. And I was helping her out. She actually was I forgot what college she went to, but she made this show from based on being college, and she wanted to do podcast. She actually took a class on it. So that's part of their job to create their own podcast. And so she had got all these big people. I'm like, you want me? And she's like, yeah. And then she was just kind of like blown away. Yeah. Yeah, I'll
Wow.
send it to you. I'll send it to you if you want to listen to it.
I think I have listened to
I think
that.
I sent it to you. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I sent it to you. So yeah, I mean,
because
the reason why I brought it up is because it seems really familiar to this, what we just did.
yeah, exactly. So I, of course, had to do some research on you because I was going to be interviewing with you. So I listened to that to get a feel for who you are. So that way, when I was going to be interviewing, that I would understand your mindset and what you value, which I think I might actually put this part, if that's okay, into I'll
Sure,
edit that
yeah,
into
yeah,
the podcast because
sure.
I think it's really important for people to know even if you're interviewing for a job outside of the industry, just in general, being a people person is really important. And even if it's a company, just understanding the values so that you can be a match for it and know why you're a match and pitch that to them. Like I'll be valuable for you because I'm a match in these ways and I align with your values. So I knew a little bit about what you were about, and that's one way also that I knew we'd be a good match. And Leal knew we'd be a good match because we both take time to get to know people and help to raise them up. So if we're auditioning actors, that we're giving them direction and we're not just having them do an audition and then say, okay, thank you very much. We're giving them some adjustments and giving them insight about the script. And I've noticed that the actors really appreciate that. And so it makes sense that we have a similar style in how we do the casting and the directing because that is another one of my dreams is to eventually direct. It's not like other people where they want to be a director, so everything they're doing is so they can be a director. I want to be one of those actors who also directs sometimes.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah. And oh yeah, so I was gonna ask, as far as you talked about how that other podcast and how they've had big people on. So I was curious if you also have other people that you'd recommend that I'd reach out to be on this podcast. So I already have some in mind and people that we both know, but people that I'm not even aware of that you think would be great for this.
Yeah, I have a few people I'll send your way.
Okay, great. Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, because the
Um,
more of us, the more that we go out and talk about all this, I always feel like actors, like people are telling the wrong information. Like I'll have an actor tell an actor, yeah, this is the way it is. And I'm like, no, it's not. Where did you hear that from? Oh, from another actor. And I always feel like it's like the blind leading the blind with the wrong information, you know? So I think it's just so important that we do have like a podcast like this so that we can educate people and inform them so they know like the do's and the don'ts, you know, within this industry. So yes, my bird's taking a nap. He was all crazy this morning playing. So he's nice and calm. So we'll get
oh, that's perfect timing.
yeah, he's sleeping. I'm like, good, go to sleep. Gave him some pistachios, his favorite, and it filled his belly up. Now he's napping, so we're good for an hour.
He ate pistachios.
Oh yeah, he loves them.
Oh, that's so cute.
And he has to pick him out of the bag himself. I can't give it to him. So I have to open the bag, and he wants to stick his whole head in there and grab his own.
That's really cute.
It's super cute.
Oh my gosh. I would love to see a video. I feel like that could be a video that would go viral on social
I would,
media.
yeah, I totally would love to like make a movie, you know, and have like, you know, those all the animal movies sell, you know, like talking dogs or whatever, like on
Yeah.
Netflix. Like those are like space dog. It's like they make so much money, you know. So I was like, I gotta do a film like that with animals, you know?
That's so funny.
Oh, and I just got pitched a dog actor, and she sent me a message on Instagram, and I was like, "Oh, you're really beautiful." She goes, "Oh no, no, it's not me, it's my dog. My dog is the actor." And I'm like, "What?" And this dog like does runway shows in Paris, and like the dog is like can go around cats and everything. And I've actually directed like two dogs before, so I was like, "Yeah, I work with animals." And she's like, "Great." So now that I know I have access to that dog, now my mind is going, you know?
Yeah. Also, Lizette and Danny have a cat that does acting, basically.
Really? Oh my gosh, there's my cast. All right, we got a bird. All right, awesome.
Yes, a bird, a dog, and a cat. This is great.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Okay, cool. Okay, good. I'm gonna start writing that script.
That's so
Because
cute.
there's a really popular movie called Polly that's about a bird that's lost. Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's a cute segment that we just did. Is it okay if I put that in? If I
Oh
edit
yeah,
that
yeah,
in?
for sure. For sure, for sure. Because it's cute. People don't know about like like animal casting, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Anita actually was mentioning that people are looking for like real couples and real roommates. And so if someone has a car that they could use or props or a pet, that's something that she'd be looking to sign. So the I was thinking more for her, like, oh, maybe she could sign, oops, maybe she could sign all of them. But now I'm realizing that it's good for you to know as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I really want to make that film. It's so when you have animal movies, it's so marketable because it's like a family film, it's just easy sellable, to have
Mhm.
that. We're finding
Okay.
more out about each other too with this interview, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's so fun. And I think I heard your bird. He's awake.
Oh, yep, he's playing.
What is it? How does a bird play? What does it look like when he plays?
Oh, he plays with toys.
What?
Yeah, like little bird toys. Like a dog. What you see like a dog. I like feel like a bird's a cross between like a dog and a cat.
Oh,
Like a
with
dog are
wings.
like yeah with wings. Oh, he's saying hi.
Oh.
Yeah, he's really silly. He's like a huge personality. But yeah, he plays with toys all day. He's actually more independent than my other birds. So yeah, I
Wow.
have like it's basically like I have a toddler. Like you're asking what my morning routine is. It's like, okay, I gotta get up, wake him up. I say good morning, and I have to make his food. I'm like a little mini chef, like apples and vegetables. Like make that with for him every morning and feed him. And make sure I put on. He's like a toddler. He loves watching YouTube like a toddler does, and he likes watching bird videos of like himself, and that's how he learned how to talk. So he says, "I love you." I'll say, "Give me a kiss." He'll come in and lean in and give me a kiss. He likes to be silly. He'll like hang on one foot, and I'm like, "Are you playing?" And then he'll egg it on even more because he likes the attention. They
Wow.
love attention. Yeah. So and then they can be like kind of independent like a cat because I can go out of town and like I have somebody feed him and stuff, but yeah, he'll just hang out all day and I have a remote. I can work remotely, control my phone to turn his TV on and play his shows and turn the light off. He likes it pitch black. He goes to bed at 10 and he looks at me like, Mom, I'm tired. I want to go to bed. All right. And I turn off the lights and I'm doing work in the dark at 10 so he can start to go to sleep. So yeah, it's like my mom calls him my bird son.
Oh.
And then she's like, and then she's grandma, so she's like, how's my bird son doing? I'm like, he's good. Because I don't have any kids. I don't have any kids. I've never been married. I don't have any kids. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. That's cute. I'm glad you have him.
Yes. Yeah, he's actually was given to me as a gift. I had lost my other bird. His name was Phoenix. And he passed away. And then my dad had cancer and he was about to pass away. So I was like, thought my dad would pass away first from cancer, and then my bird did. And it's like don't cry. Emotional support, And
Yeah.
then when I lost my bird Phoenix and then I knew I was going to lose my dad, one of my really good friends was like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so bad, Renee." Like, because I don't have any kids and stuff. And he's like, "You know what, Renee? I want to get you another bird. It's not going to replace Phoenix. I know the bird's not going to replace Phoenix, but you need like an emotional support animal. You need a companion." So he goes, please, he goes, can I please do this for you? And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And then like I was so excited. And the next day I was like looking at birds, birds everywhere, and I found a breeder. And yeah, he gave me the money. He's like, go get your bird. And then I got Blue was his name because my favorite movie is Rio. I don't know if you've ever seen the animated movie Rio.
I
His
don't
name
think
is
so. It sounds familiar. But and your bird is
yeah.
blue, like the color blue, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, he's actually violet blue, but yeah, he's
Oh.
blue. And then my mom was like, he didn't have a name for a couple of days. I was almost gonna name him Chico, but I was like, he doesn't look like a Chico. So then I was just talking to my mom, like, I haven't named him yet in 3 days. Like he needs a name. And I got him when he was 4 months old. So my mom was like, duh. And then I kept telling the guy he wanted to charge him more money. He's like, no, he's not blue. I'm like, yes, he's blue. He's like, no, he's not blue. He's violet. I'm like, he doesn't look, he's like, he's violet blue. I'm like, that's still blue. And he goes, no, because he wanted to charge me more money because he's actually
Oh.
he's rare.
Oh.
His coloring, yeah. So he's a rare one. So he wanted more money for it. Um, and so yeah, so then my mom's like, duh, your favorite animated film is Rio and the bird's name is Blue. And I was like, oh yeah. So then that's how he got his name. And it's spelled just BLU, because that's the name of the character on there. And so
Oh,
the animated film is about a single woman and she has her bird. And
oh,
it's her, yeah, she's single, trying to, she can't find anyone because she's a little unique and I guess you can say weird and different. So yeah, my mom's like, no, his name's Blue. And so yeah, that's kind of how he got his name.
that's awesome. Oh, and I'm wearing blue.
Yeah, that's my favorite color also. And I was really blue at the time, right? I was really sad when I got him.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was like a perfect name for him.
Wow, that's
But he wants
beautiful.
to, but his favorite YouTube star is named Kiwi the bird. So now he likes that name Kiwi. So he always says Kiwi. He always looks in the mirror at himself and says Kiwi's a pretty bird. And I'm like, no, you're blue, you're not. And he calls me Barbie because his mom is named Barbie on the YouTube channel. I think I like, yeah. And so he calls me Barbie and calls himself Kiwi because he sees that there's a mom and she kisses him and takes care of
Oh,
him. So he did like they're so intelligent. Birds are so smart, very, very intelligent. And so he basically saw that, and birds mimic. So he wants us to mimic. So I'm Barbie and he's Kiwi, based on the show that he watches. Yeah.
that is really cute. That does sound almost like a toddler or like a little kid and how their
Yeah.
brain would work. And that's so sweet.
Yeah. They basically are. The intelligence of birds, especially this breed, is they're basically like a toddler. They're 3 years old for their entire life, and they live to
Oh,
be at least 23 to 30 years.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Other cats
wow.
only 7 or 8. Sometimes you're lucky if you get them 12. So yeah. And he's not going to college or getting married or graduating, so we're stuck with each other.
That is cute. So speaking of movies, since you're talking about Rio, are there any movies, books, or TV shows that you'd recommend?
Well, Rio for sure. That will make you smile and laugh. Yeah, actually, I just saw a really great, awesome movie called I'm so busy. It sounds weird, but I really don't watch movies or TV shows because I'm sitting like writing my own movies and TV shows. And then Blue took over my TV watching his YouTube bird shows all day. So, but what my mom does, and I'm going for Christmas with my mom, is she actually this is where I got this from. I'm in the industry. Like when I grew up as a kid, movies were such a big deal to my family and I, like even now to this day. And now my mom knows, what I do for a living. So now she knows I'm so busy. So she writes a list of movies I should watch to recommend. So when
Oh,
I come over, because Netflix, right, you sit there like, what do I watch, right?
yeah.
It's so hard to know what to watch. I watch something and I'm like, no, I want 2 hours of my life back, right? So my mom had picked out this movie called Babylon. Have you seen it? With Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt?
Oh, I've heard of it. I did not see it yet.
Okay, add it to your list, Jamie.
Okay.
So Babylon's about the history of the film industry back when it first started. So
Wow.
it's all the black and white films. They show you how they used to use like a wooden box for like the cameras. They use how they put the sound guy in a room. They actually have a female director on there, so my mom really wanted to see it. But it's basically like all the debauchery that happens. Like it's basically like how Hollywood has never been innocent because Hollywood's really bad right now,
Yeah.
everything that's entailed with it. So it literally shows you like, no, Hollywood didn't just get bad now. Hollywood's always been bad with the glamour and everything. And it's literally like being bored with money.
Mm.
And so when you're bored with money, it's like you do the most, a lot of people in Hollywood, do all these like heinous things because it's like they have this power trip. So it's just like it shows really cool, just like the filmmaking aspect of it is so awesome. Like me watching this female director and really watching what happens on set. They're like, cut, next, action, go, light, here, boom, go, go, go. And she's like, we gotta get this shot. And then she's like, ah, and then I don't want to give the film away, but like some bad stuff happens, and you're like, what? What just happened? A guy died on set, but so it's just like,
Wow.
whoa. And so I think that movie is just like great because it really shows you like the inside of how Hollywood really is, but that's the way that Hollywood really is now. So if you want to see like all the debauchery and the craziness with all these people with like so much money, they're bored with money and then kind of just seeing how old Hollywood used to be and being on set and everything, which I know you enjoy too.
Yeah.
And so it was just like I was just like this the whole entire time. Like for me, I have like ADHD, so I'm like squirrel, and I don't have an attention span sometimes. But man, when there's such a good movie like that, like I'm literally like not talking, not on my phone, like my hand on my chin, like wow, like just totally into it. And another one that did that for me too was the movie The Whale with Brendan Fraser.
Mm.
He won an Oscar for that film, and that film was just taking place in one room only. And so,
Oh,
yeah, and Brendan Fraser plays an overweight gay man who loses his boyfriend, and his daughter is angry because he's gay and had left the family and stuff. And so she's kind of been away from the family, and she's on Stranger Things, and she's amazing in Stranger Things. So she's an amazing actress. And so is Brendan Fraser. And I'm a big fan of Brendan Fraser, from all his movies back in the day. He was like a huge star, like um 80s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s,
yeah.
from the Mummy. And
Right.
so he had to take a break from Hollywood too, because Hollywood can spit you out and eat you alive, and he didn't
Mm.
want to, like, I call it, join the beast system. So you kind of get thrown out of Hollywood if you're not going to play their game.
Oh,
And so he did this independent film, and he played this part. And um when they screened this at the SAG Awards, he got a standing ovation. And
wow.
this is literally his first time back into Hollywood. He had gained a lot of weight, and kind of, you get older, you lose your looks, you gain weight.
Yeah.
So people are like, "What happened to you?" So how Hollywood is, superficial. And so this film, he came in and he was just like everyone just kind of thought, oh, he's a silly, goofy guy in George of the Jungle, and the Mummy, he's hunky and everything. But like for me, I'm like, that's a versatile actor, that he could play all this different stuff. And then in The
Yeah.
Whale, I literally, like, because he has transformed himself, like I saw him there, but not. And just
Mm.
I went and watched the behind the scenes of how he had to do like the ending of the film, and he had told the director, like, they kept doing it over and over, and he told the director, he goes, we've been at it for 12 hours. He goes, can I please, like, can we just please, like, it was the end of the day. He goes, I know you're trying to get your master shot. I know you're trying, this is the big part of the movie. He goes, but I don't have it in me. He goes, I just did such emotional scenes with my daughter and the death, and me playing this character. He goes, I literally don't have it left in me. If I can please just get a good night's sleep and come back tomorrow, I promise I'll give it to you.
Mm.
And the director, of most directors in Hollywood, are mean, and they would say, no,
Right.
you do this. This is what we pay you for. But the director was like, I understand. He goes, let's end the day, and you go home and you rest and relax, and we'll pick it up back again tomorrow. And then he gave such a glorious performance, and then he, won an Oscar for this performance, and a bunch of other SAG awards, and a bunch of other awards for this film. So yeah, it's a
Wow.
good one to know as a filmmaker, and especially me, I'm an independent filmmaker, and it's shot as an indie film. So it's got all the grittiness and the good storylines. And there's another, I'm sorry, I'm using her nationality, but she's this amazing Asian actress. I would love to work with her. Like, she comes into the story, and just every time she comes into the scene, she like blows away, like, the camera. Like, I'm like, I want to work with her one day. And she should have won Best Supporting Actress, but she wasn't even nominated. So I was like, why wasn't she nominated? Like, every time she came in, so it's just a really great storyline. That's what indie films do. They're just, small, not a lot of locations, not a bunch of production value, but just being in that one room, you really feel like how this guy, because he's overweight, so he can't leave. He has steps, so he can't leave, so people have to come help him out.
Wow.
And he keeps eating and eating and eating, and they're like, you're going to have a heart attack. And they basically tell him, one stress on your heart, that's it, you're dead. And so he wants to meet his daughter after that hates him, and he wants to reconcile with her before he
Hmm.
passes away, because he knows it's a done deal. And he doesn't even want to live any longer anyways, because he lost the love of his life.
Wow.
And he knows there's no going, he's so obese, he knows there's no way of going back and losing all that weight. He can't move or do exercise. So he understands his fate.
Wow, that's really intense. Just to clarify, Brendan Fraser didn't actually, I'm assuming that the character is very, very big if he's to the point of no return. Brendan Fraser didn't actually get that in that way, right? It's he did it for
Brendan
the part.
Fraser. Nope, Brendan Fraser was already overweight, and so that's why he was shunned from Hollywood, and nobody wanted to work with him. And then this director took him in, but they did put a more on him, like
Right,
control the
that's what I'm
fat.
asking. So I
Yeah,
understand he gained
so he was
weight
already had the weight on. He was already,
bigger.
good size.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's already good size. So then they just kind of added to it more. So it kind of made it more realistic because he is overweight. So when he huffs and puffs, he's
Yeah.
overweight. He's not like a slender.
I
So
just
yeah, so
wanted
just
I was just curious if he actually had gained so much weight in real life that it was to the point of no return, like the character where he could barely move. So okay, they exaggerated it for the character.
yeah, and
Okay.
then he was nominated for all these awards, so he did slim down for the awards. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he
That's
slimmed down.
interesting how that
So
happens.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I can't. I'll have to send you the footage, Jamie. It's just so amazing. Like he's sitting there, and the film's done screening, and there's a bunch of celebrities in that room, and famous people and producers and stuff, and they all stood up and turned around. He's like kind of in the back too. They all stood up, turned around, and looked at him, and like did a standing ovation for him, and was clapping for like literally 10 minutes straight
Oh my
after
God.
his performance, and then he started crying. And then they
Wow.
they were they were yelling back at him, "Welcome back to Hollywood, Brennan." And he was like crying.
Wow. So where can I watch this movie and where can everybody else watch the movie and where can we find the footage that you're talking about?
It's all if you just type up on Google, you can. I don't know where it's at right now. I'm
Hmm.
sure you can just rent it on wherever platform you can find it at, Amazon
Okay.
or whatever. But I recommend, yeah, Babylon and The Whale. Those two movies are. I I was just totally involved into it, invested 100% into the film.
Wow. Those sound great. Okay, I'll definitely look those up. Awesome. This has been really fun. I'm so happy that you came on to my podcast. Thank you so much, Renee. And where can people find you? I know you've mentioned your Instagram.
Yes, please send me a message, DM me on my Instagram. It's really simple. My name, Renee Garcia, Renee, uh, Garcia filmmaker. So Renee Garcia filmmaker is my Instagram handle.
Sounds good. Well, thank
And
you
then
so
and
much.
I'm on IMDb and LinkedIn and all that stuff too. You can find me really easily. All you have to do is do a Google search, Renee Garcia, casting director, and I pop up right there, and my resources are all there. I'm easy to contact.
And how can people see the films that you've made that you've been winning all these awards for? Are they out yet or able to be seen?
They're not, because when you do the film festival route, you're not allowed to have the film out anywhere. So once I'm done with the film festival run, I have options for distribution. So I'm either going to go with Tubi or Amazon Prime. So you will be able to see them there maybe at the end of this year. Because my film keeps winning so much, I keep getting people keep asking me to be in their film festivals. So
Really? They're reaching out to
yeah,
you to be in their film festivals?
yes,
I've
yes,
never heard
yes.
of that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I get so many DMs from film festivals like, please, please, can we have your films in our film festival? You keep winning all these awards.
Wow.
So yeah. And then next month in January at the Chandler Film Festival, I have three films that are nominated. One is Immigrant Mother. It stars Cristo Fernandez from Ted Lasso. Everyone knows that show. He plays Danny Rojas. Football is life. Whenever that film plays, everyone yells in the audience, football is life. So somebody hear that. And then my other film, Receding, is about alopecia and a child. It's based on a true story. The reason why that film is winning so much is because my lead actress is actually the real person that really does have alopecia. And I'm actually really telling her and her mom's story about it. So she's actually playing herself. And so I trained her and stuff, for acting for that. She blows my mind away how awesome she is.
Yeah,
And then
such a
my
good
other
film.
film yeah. Oh, yeah, you saw it.
Yep. I came to the red
Yeah, yeah.
carpet. That was my first time on a red carpet, was supporting you with
Yeah.
your film.
And that's kind of when we first got together too. And I'm like, Jamie, do you want to come see my work as a director? You're like, yes, on the big screen, right? It was at the
Yeah.
Chinese Theater in Hollywood, the famous, next to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So it was just really nostalgic, right? That my 8-year-old kid dreams, and now my film is playing, with this big celebrity. That show won 20 Emmys, Ted Lasso.
Wow.
So yeah, and then seven before that. And then I'm sure they're nominated again this year for best comedy show.
Hmm.
So, and then my other film called The Delicate Cycle. This is my first official film selection for it, called The Delicate Cycle. It stars Dean Norris Jr. and his dad, Dean Norris, which I didn't know, unbeknownst to me. Like we cast the kid and we're on set, and we're like, oh, let's look at everyone's IMDb. Oh, he's new. He doesn't have an IMDb. And we're like, wait a minute. His dad is Dean Norris from Breaking Bad. So unbeknownst to me, I put him in his first film. So that one is also nominated. And his dad's going to fly out from New York he's shooting a TV show. So he's going to fly out from New York to come see his son's first movie. I'm going to cry because it's like his dad's going to, be sitting next to him. He even has the same name, sitting
Oh,
next to him and seeing his first film. And he's the lead in it. So he's in the whole entire film. And he did such an amazing acting job in it as well. So I know he's going to be a proud papa after that.
wow. And just so if people don't know the name Dean Norris, he was Hank in Breaking Bad, so he was the brother-in-law.
Yeah, that's the officer. Yeah. And so, yes, yes, yes. So yeah, so I got like a trifecta. The odds are ever in my favor that I have three films in this film festival. So it's all the hard work is paid off, and it's really exciting.
Yes, really exciting. So hopefully in 2024, at some point during the year, people will be able to see all of these films that have been winning all of the accolades.
Yeah, and they can just look at all of them on IMDb. Immigrant Mothers on IMDb, Recedings on IMDb. I'm on IMDb in the Delicate Cycle if they want to see the trailers, or they're on YouTube if you just search for Immigrant Mother Renee Garcia, Receding Renee Garcia,
Yeah.
or the Delicate Cycle. Yeah,
How many films did you make in 2023?
I.
5. Wow.
Direct- And I'm not done yet. Wait till 2024. I've already got four coming out that I want to
Wow.
make.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
4 already lined up. We're not even in the year yet. And then I'm sure more they're gonna pop up. They're gonna keep popping up.
Yes, we know. I can't really talk too much about it, but we know one that's kind of a really big deal if I get accepted by it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you have a lot of really exciting things in the works, and I'm so grateful to be part of your journey and to be able
yes,
to do all this with you.
and I'm so grateful you came into my life. I needed your help, and I'm so glad that I can inspire you. And even we were kind of joking around too when you're like, oh yeah, well maybe I can direct. And I'm like, why not? If I can do it, you can do it. You're an actress. Like the best
Mhm.
directors make actresses, and you're going to be my director's assistant. So that's basically like shadowing. So you're literally going to be shadowing me, which every director asks for an opportunity for that. Can I shadow you? I'm going to be bringing some kids to set that want to. I have a 15-year-old boy. He said he's only an actor because he wants to be a director. So
Wow.
I'm gonna have him come onto my set. I have another female. I was doing an interview, and I told her, hey, and she goes, I want to be a director. I'm like, have you done anything? She's like, no. And I'm like, well, if I can, that's my motto. If I can do it, you can do it.
Hmm.
So she's going to come on one of the days too and shadow me because, again, I never went to film school. So everything I learned was being on set. That's the best way you're going to learn is being right there and watching everything in real time. Like even being an extra as an actor is not bad, especially if you're new because you could
Mhm.
get to go to set and see how everything really is.
Mhm. Exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much. This really has been such a pleasure. It's been so fun. And if there's anything else you want to say, otherwise, it's been really fun having you on the podcast.
Thank you. Nope, thanks, Jamie. It was a pleasure. I hope I inspire everyone. Again, if I can do it, you can do it. And we need more indie filmmakers in this world. So please do so. Please go after your dreams. I promise you it's so worth it. Like it's so difficult to get there, but once you can stop and smell the roses, I say everything is all worth it.
Thank
All right.
you.
Well, I'm probably not going to see you then. So Merry Christmas and Happy
Mm.
Holiday. Well, I'm going to see you before New Year's. So
Yes, I
I'm
will
not
see
going
you
to
for
say.
iPop.
I'm not going to say it. Yeah. So I'm not going to say that. So I
Yeah.
can't wait. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to have so much fun and we're going to just discover so much talent. I'm super excited. All
Yeah.
right. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and happy Hanukkah.
Thank you and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.